welcome to Veterans Medals Workshop. I'm Frank Foster, your host, and today we're going to talk about U.S. Army combat and skill badges, and marksmanship badges, and even some of the foreign badges awarded our soldiers. So stick with me on this. By the time you get through it, you will be able to recognize every United States Army combat and skill badge and marksmanship badge, including some that you've maybe never seen before. And what we'll do is we'll start with the most prestigious badge in the world, the United States Army Combat Infantry Badge. We're going to look at Army Combat and Special Skill Badges and Marksmanship Badges, and the Army groups its Combat and Special Skill Badges into 5 categories, and I'll be presenting the badges to you in that order. And the reason they do that is the Army limits soldiers to only wearing 6 combat skill badges at one time. At the top of the pyramid of U.S. Army combat and skill badges is the most prestigious combat badge in the world, the Combat Infantryman's Badge. It is a silver and enamel badge 1 inch in height and 3 inches wide, and consists of an infantry musket on a light blue bar with a silver border with an oak wreath surrounding it. Stars are added at the top of the wreath to indicate subsequent awards: 1 star for the 2nd award, 2 stars for the 3rd award, and 3 stars for the 4th award. The bar is blue because that's the color associated with infantry branch, and the musket is adopted from the infantry insignia of the branch and represents the first official U.S. shoulder arm, the 1795 model Springfield Arsenal musket. It was adopted. PIB is awarded to personnel in the grade of colonel or below with an infantry MOS who have satisfactorily performed duty while assigned as a member of an infantry unit, brigade, or smaller since 1941. Only 1 award is authorized for service in Vietnam, Laos, Dominican Republic, or Korea, Grenada, Panama, and Southwest Asia, but you could have a multiple award for also serving in Afghanistan or Iraq. As you can see in this example, the Combat Infantry Badge goes above all ribbons and other badges. It is the most prestigious of all Army badges. Group 1 Army badge is the Combat Action Badge, which is a silver badge 2 inches in width and with an oak wreath surrounding a rectangle bearing a bayonet surrounding a grenade, all silver. The stars are added at the top to indicate subsequent awards: 1 star for the 2nd award, 2 stars for the 3rd, and 3 stars for the 4th. In keeping with the spirit of the warrior, the Combat Action Badge provides special recognition to soldiers who personally engaged the enemy or are engaged by the enemy during combat operations. The bayonet and grenade are associated with active combat, and the oak wreath symbolizes strength and loyalty. The next 2 Group 1 badges are the Expert Infantryman's Badge and the Expert Soldier's Badge, which is a relatively new badge. Personnel have to meet very stringent and vigorous testing requirements and pass these in order to qualify for the award. It is considered very prestigious. The first of the Army Group 2 badges is the Combat Medical Badge, which is an oxidized silver badge 1 inch in height and 1.5 inches wide, and consists of a stretcher crossed by a caduceus surrounded at the top by a Greek cross, all on an oak wreath. Stars are added to indicate subsequent awards: 1 star at the top for the 2nd award, 1 star at the top and 1 at the bottom for the 3rd, and 1 star at the top and 1 at each side for the 4th award. The Medical Corps insignia of branch, modified by the addition of a Greek cross suggesting the Geneva Convention between the wings and the entwined serpents, signifies the recipient's skill and expertise. It is superimposed upon a stretcher, alluding to medical field service. The oak wreath symbolizes steadfastness, strength, and loyalty. The Expert Field Medical Badge recognizes Army personnel for attaining a high state of technical skill in field medical functions, and it's awarded on the basis of proven skill and performance. And prior to being awarded the badge, personnel have to successfully pass a rigorous series of tests. The Army Astronaut Badge leads Group 3 of all Army badges, and it has a design that is the same for Army Aviation, Aviator, Flight Sergeant, crew member, etc., with a shooting star and elliptical orbit superimposed over the shield. The shooting star passes through the elliptical orbit, implying space in the astronaut's theater of operation. The three badges shown are Army Astronaut, Senior Army Astronaut, and Master Army Astronaut. This is the new Army Space Badge with the astronaut device, which puts it in Group 3. You'll see it a little later without the astronaut badge, but there's a basic space badge, a senior space badge, and a master space badge, and it's awarded for training or serving in the required number of months as an Army space cadre or other positions. The next Group 3 badge is the Army Aviator badge, which is an oxidized silver badge 2.5 inches wide and consisting of a shield of the coat of arms of the United States on and over a pair of displaying wings. A star is added above the shield to indicate qualifications as a Senior Army Aviator, and the star is surrounded by a laurel wreath to indicate qualifications as a Master Army Aviator. Below the examples of the silver oxidized wings, I've shown a sample of the subdued badge or the plated badge or a sterling silver badge. The Flight Sergeant's badge is basically the same as the Army Aviator's badge, except the shield in the center is scored with some horizontal lines and bears a staff of healing, which is associated with medical skills. And it comes in both a Flight Sergeant, Senior Flight Sergeant, and Master Flight Sergeant ratings. The Aircraft Crew Member's badge is basically the same design as that for the Army Aviator, with the coat of arms of the United States substituted for the shield of the coat of arms. A badge is awarded to personnel who have to be on flying status as crew members or in a position as a non-crew member in the case of observers, medical aidmen, gunners, or aircraft maintenance supervisors. It is awarded as an aircraft crew member, master aircraft crew member, or senior aircraft crew member, and I've also shown some examples of the subdued badges below. Explosive Ordnance Disposal Badge, or EOD badge, commands a lot of respect in the Army. It's a silver badge consisting of a shield charged with a conventional drop bomb pointed down, from which radiates 4 lightning bolts, all in the front and contained within a wreath of laurel leaves. The Senior Explosive Ordnance Disposal Badge is the same as the basic badge, except the drop bomb bears a silver star, and the Master badge has a laurel wreath around the star. The Glider badge is a silver badge with a glider frontal view superimposed upon a pair of stylized wings displayed in curving upward. It is now an obsolete badge, but it was issued to glider troops in World War II. The Parachutist badge is a silver badge about 1.5 inches wide and consists of an open parachute on and over a pair of stylized wings. The basic award is given for completing jump school at Fort Benning or 1 combat jump, while a senior parachutist has to complete a minimum of 30 jumps to include 15 jumps with combat equipment and a couple of night jumps, and a master parachutist has to have 65 jumps to include 25 with combat equipment, 4 night jumps, and 1 as the jump master of a stick. The Combat Parachute Badge uses a bronze service star to be worn on the parachute badge to denote a soldier's participation in a combat jump. 2 jumps, 3 jumps, 4 jumps, and if you make 5 combat jumps, you get a gold star in the center of your parachute. Each one of the combat parachutist badges qualifies the recipient to wear a bronze arrowhead for a combat assault on the campaign medal awarded for that service. The Airborne Pathfinder badge is awarded for successful completion of the Pathfinder's course, and in this particular case you see the example of this non-commissioned officer wearing both the Master Parachutist badge, Ranger badge, and the Pathfinder badge below his ribbons. The Military Freefall Parachute Badge is an oxidized silver badge consisting of a freefall parachute superimposed upon a pair of stylized wings displaying the fighting knife of the 1st Special Service Force, a World War II outfit. It is issued in 2 versions, the basic military freefall wings and the Jumpmaster military freefall wings. Here is an excellent example of a non-commissioned officer wearing the maximum of 6 badges. the Combat Infantry badge at the top, of course, and in the center of his pocket is a military freefall badge underneath his Ranger badge and his Master Parachutist badge on one side and his shooting badge on the other. The Army Air Assault Badge is an oxidized silver badge consisting of a helicopter front view superimposed upon a pair of airborne wings. It is awarded for completing the Air Assault Training Course. As shown early was the space badge issued with the astronaut symbol, but the regular space badge is shown here in the basic, senior, and master, and it is issued for completion of the appropriate space-related training and the completion of a number of required months in the position. The Army Ranger tab is awarded for completion of the Army Ranger course, and on the full dress uniform, it is worn as a metal badge, as shown here beneath the ribbons between the Master Parachutist badge and the Pathfinder badge. The Special Forces Qualification tab is awarded for completion of a Special Forces training course, and a metal Special Forces badge is authorized for wear on the mess uniform and the dress uniform. This is a good moment to speak about foreign badges, so if you look just to the right side of this soldier's uniform, you'll see a foreign parachute badge. And soldiers are allowed to wear certain foreign badges when they have the U.S. equivalent and they have completed the accepted courses. I'll give you a couple of other examples that were common 50 years ago. The Army controls the issue and wear of foreign badges pretty carefully, but two examples from the Vietnam War are shown here. Airborne troops, Special Forces troops, and Ranger troops could earn the Vietnamese Airborne badge or the Vietnamese Ranger badge and wear them on the right side of their uniform. The Sapper Qualification tab is awarded in both an embroidered tab and a metal badge for the dress uniform and is given upon successful completion of a 28-day Sapper Leader course at the Army Engineering School at Fort Leonard Wood. Several other authorized tabs is the President's 100 tab for the top 100 successful contestants in the President's Rifles matches held at the National Rifle matches, and the Jungle Expert patch that was worn by members of the Jungle Operation Training Center until 1999. The Jungle Expert patch was never really authorized and is also an authorized patch for Arctic training. Initially, the Army had 5 diving badges, but the scuba badge is now obsolete. It was eliminated in 2004 and replaced by the Combat Operations Divers badges I'll show you in a moment. But now they use the Salvage Diver, Diver Second Class, Diver First Class, and Diver Master, and they share these badges with the Navy and the Marine Corps. The former scuba badge was replaced by the Combat Operations Diver badges in 2005. It consists of a Special Operations Divers badge and a Special Operations Divers Supervisors badge. The badge is awarded to graduates of the U.S. Army John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and the School for Combat Diver Qualifications down in Key West, Florida. Driver and mechanics badges go back to World War II, and they come with 6 clasps to indicate wheel drivers, track drivers, or different operators and mechanics. The Parachute Rigger Badge is a winged parachute representing the functions of rigging the supplies for airdrops as well as packing and repair of parachutes used for military personnel and cargo, and it's awarded to members of the Army who complete the Parachute Rigger course. The Army no longer conducts nuclear reactor operations or nuclear reactor training, but between 1965 and 1990, they did train nuclear reactor operators and authorized 4 badges: Basic, Second Class, First Class Operator, and Shift Supervisor. These badges are now obsolete. The first of the Army Marksmanship badges probably appeared around 1898. And then in the early part of the 20th century, handsome, expert, sharpshooter, and marksmanship medals in silver, as shown here, were issued. They became obsolete and were later replaced by the current expert qualification badges, which I'll show you in a moment. The Army also authorizes the Distinguished International Shooter's Badge and awards an Army Distinguished Rifleman's Badge and a Distinguished Pistol Shot Badge for outstanding achievement in competition firing. There are also 3 gold, silver, and bronze awardee Excellent in Competition badges presented by the Army. The current Expert Marksmanship qualification badges were first authorized in World War II and were originally struck in sterling silver. Today they're done in a white metal. The Expert Marksman's badge is a cross with representation of a target placed in the center and enclosed by a wreath of laurel leaves tied at the bottom with a knot. It has 2 rings at the bottom for attaching the bar, naming the weapon with which the recipient qualified. The Sharpshooter's badge is a variation of it without the wreath, and the Marksman's badge is a variation without the target. Additionally, there are up to 19 qualification bars such as rifle, pistol, recoilless rifle, auto rifle, small bore that are available to go with the qualification. Here's a good example of a senior non-commissioned officer wearing 4 skill badges: the Combat Action Badge at the top, the Airborne Badge, the Motor Vehicle or Driver Mechanic Badge, and the Expert Marksman's Badge. And to wrap up, we want to show you the very latest U.S. Army badge, the Master Gunner Badge, approved in 2019, but actually it's going to be retroactive to 1975. But the Master Gunner Badge can be awarded to artillery, tank, infantry fighting vehicle, Avenger, Striker, and Patriot Master Gunners. Thank you for joining us today on our show for U.S. Army Combat and Skill Badges, Marksmanship Badges, and even a few of the foreign awards awarded our soldiers. I think after watching this, you can tell the difference between an Army Astronaut's Badge, an Army Air Crewman's Badge, and maybe even a few of the Special Marksmanship Badges. All of the information in today's show came from my newest book, U.S. Army Medals, Badges, and Insignia, which is available on Amazon. I highly recommend it to you. It's the best thing I've ever done. Okay, thanks for joining us.